In the last 10 years, no one has made more of a transformation than Robert Pattinson. From his face on teen girls' lunchboxes to getting a standing ovation at Cannes Film Festival, it's obvious he could charm anyone with his looks, talent, and charisma. But how does he do it? Take a step inside the unusual brain of our Pats on this episode of Classic Charm. Robert Pattinson is usually anxious. For most people, anxiety is a sign that you need to not continue to do whatever you're doing at that instant. And if you're like most people, chances are you listen to that anxiety and run the other way when that shock of nervousness and fear washes over you like the blood of Carrie on prom night. Robert, however, doesn't. By the way, if you think you're an anxious, awkward person, you probably experience that anxiety a fraction of the time that Rob does. In this live audience roundtable with The Hollywood Reporter, you see relaxed, well-spoken celebrities, and then Robert is just a barrel of squirminess and nervous laughter.
Did you have to get up courage to assert yourself on set with people?
I can't. I just run away and cry.
Really? Still?
Still. No, I don't really. Well, I don't know, I do.
You could see the others seem a bit confused. He's quite unlike the character he portrayed in those vampire movies, eh? Listen, some people are just gonna have to live with anxiety all their life, while others will figure it out and only have to manage it every once in a while. Rob is the former. Here's the difference between Robert Pattinson and most of the world when it comes to anxiety. Instead of letting it control him and quitting every time it hits, Robert just accepts it. The best way for me to put it is during times when he needs to socialize, like in interviews, Rob sees anxiety as a dark passenger that's always along for the ride, buzzing in his ear, but never a real threat to whatever he's doing. And because of that, he just allows it to move through him while doing whatever he was gonna do anyway. It looks as though by now, like the anxiety doesn't even bother him anymore. It's just a thing that's always gonna be there. And he's come to terms with that. Smile, be positive, and keep going.
I remember the first time you were here, you were very, I don't know, you seemed uncomfortable being interviewed. It seems like you've gotten more comfortable over the years. Have you or no? Is that?
I don't know. I mean,
I was very surprised to hear you a couple of weeks ago on Howard Stern's show, which I listen to every day, and that would be the one guy you would avoid talking to.
No, I mean, it was terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I mean, like, so much anxiety. I had a huge crash afterwards. But I did also...
But when it comes to his work, the anxiety Rob feels could shoot through the roof. During these circumstances, Rob takes an unusual approach to his relationship with this dark passenger. Where in the past, Rob did what we all did, saw anxiety as an alarm for getting out of the building as quickly as possible. But eventually, he learned to actually use his dark passenger as a means for making the art better and better. Robert Pattinson believes that anxiety is what challenges him to take more risks in acting. He uses it as a sign that his work is reaching new heights. Notice in this interview how Robert stresses that the anxiety is what makes the work mean something.
We're literally just talking, and I knew it was like it's not in the right place, and so I would just be like up in between everything, and she's like young. It's her first movie, just like, what is wrong with you? Just speak. And then also in the bail bonds office, and the guy he's not even an actor, he was the real bail bonds guy, and he's looking at me like, just say the lines, man. Calm down.
Well, that was amazing because he gets stuck. Rob sometimes he gets stuck in these, like, I call them, like, the only thing I can attribute to him is like a K-hole, and like he like all of a sudden is like it's like one line, and he's actually nailing it every time, but he's like no, and he's like freaking out, and then he's like someone said, well, Grace, we're gonna you basically finish the shot, and then you go, he's like no, let's just break for lunch. He said no, we're not breaking for lunch, we're doing it. He's like fuck, okay, fine, and then we'd just like do it. That would, like, certain times we'd fall into that, but in the end it's incredible.
It's so upsetting as well at the time, but then afterwards you're like, oh, I kind of like that feeling.
So are you happier when it's over, or do you like that feeling? Is that what you? Is that?
No, I like it. I like making it mean something to me. And if you leave the scene, and even if you it's kind of like if you messed it up, and you're just like, this is like bad. I've done something bad, and I need to be punished for it.
It's obvious that a large part of Robert's success is his passion for evolving the craft of acting to new levels. It's true that his role as Edward in the Twilight series was not planned at all. He thought it was gonna be a weird indie movie about a guy that wanted to kill his girlfriend. It's Robert's purpose for interesting cinema that makes his anxiety help him instead of hinder him.
You know, I always thought after The Dark Knight, for instance, like, it makes tons and tons of money, and Heath's doing something which is just, like, it's outside, it's still perfectly, like, people understand what he's doing. It's not like he's doing something totally crazy.
Right.
But it's slightly outside the box of what people are usually used to seeing. And I really thought that was going to change everything about how big budget movies are made. But it didn't. No. Like, and so, I don't know, if every single actor wasn't afraid of trying to do, you know, something slightly abstract and you know, not concerned about their movie making tons and tons of money, then eventually the industry would change.
But I mean, you and other guys in your position, can you make these kinds of films then? And not just as actors?
I think you can once.
And when you have a wildly strong sense of purpose in doing something great, whatever that is, whether it's inhabiting a new planet, changing the way we communicate, or expanding the limits in storytelling, it's your love for the craft and just your plain appreciation for getting to even attempt it that keeps you going on and on, even amid failure, negativity, and any dark passengers coming along for the ride.
My main thing is like I feel like so lucky like the entire time. I mean, and it's been like really fun. I've had like a really, really fun life. I was talking to someone else the other day, like, even when I first started auditioning and it was with like Eddie Redmayne and Andrew Garfield and stuff, even then when no one had any jobs or anything, it was really fun to go and do an audition and all mess it up and then just go to the pub afterwards. Like literally like every single aspect. There's never been a down part. Even being unemployed is really fun. And I think that really helps, because I think if you've had a moment of just sort of just raging at a closed door, when the door opens, like you're inevitably gonna confront a cold gust of emptiness.
If you're interested in improving your social skills, charm, or dating life, then subscribe to my channel and click the bell for all notifications. I'm the only social coach on YouTube with the widest array of social and dating advice. I put out these videos several times a week, all focused on making you amazing at building great relationships, whether in your personal, romantic, or professional life. Is there something you want to add in what I taught in today's video? Continue the conversation with me below in the comments. I respond to almost all of them, especially if you're one of the first. Also, give me suggestions for who to cover in upcoming episodes, especially if they're trending at the moment. That's it for today. See you in the comments.